Okay, so the Koopalings have been around since Super Mario Bros. 3, and the Koopalings have been a major staple in the Super Mario Bros. Franchise ever since then, becoming the main bosses in any of the worlds that Mario goes to. But they've gone through a whole lot of changes since then, either in appearance or how they attack us in the Mario Bros. Series. But they've stuck with us through all these years, and have made Super Mario Bros. What it is today, and of course with a little bit of help from Bowser. And the way we'll be ranking the Koopalings in this video is by their gameplay mechanics, and we're going by their forms in Super Mario Bros. U, since that is the latest Mario game in the franchise. This is only making the rankings more fair, since back in the day, half of them you would just fight on a single platform in the middle of lava. But we're doing this ranking to find out the true GOAT Koopaling, so I'm gonna try to remain unbiased. Before we get into the video, make sure to subscribe for more quality gaming content and news. My birthday is coming up in a few weeks, so let's make 400 subs my gift. But anyways, in this video, I'm gonna be ranking the Koopalings. Alright, the worst Koopaling in my opinion is Larry. So Larry is the most basic out of all the Koopalings. No, that's not necessarily a bad thing, since you do need simplicity in all video games. But since he's competing with all the other Koopalings, I mean, what else could I do? But none of his battles in any of the games do anything special or add anything to the table. And Mario Bros. U is a big example of that. The geysers in this battle don't really add anything special for Larry's battle. They lift you and Larry off the ground, and that's about it. It really doesn't get much simpler than that. Well, there's actually one thing that does make this battle actually kind of difficult, and that's when Larry does his shell spin into the geysers, because the geysers give him a little bit more momentum and he goes upward a little bit, so it gives you something kind of hard to dodge. And of course Larry does his signature blue magic projectiles. They're definitely not the hardest projectiles to dodge compared to the rest of the Koopalings on this list. The next Koopaling we have on the list is Lumi. Lumi is very lucky to be in this spot because he only made it by a hair. So Lumi is definitely one of my favorites by design, but his battles are kind of disappointing. So in this battle, Lumi balances on the signature bouncy ball that he's always on, and that does bring some challenges when trying to land on his head, because if you don't land right on his head, you just bounce into outer space. To make his battle even harder, they gave him bouncy ball bombs, and dang, that's a tongue twister to say. But anyways, they have a pretty decent bounce to them, so dodging them can actually be a challenge because they go all over the place. And while you're trying to dodge the bombs and trying to land on Lemmy, he has this really annoying charge move that he does with this bouncy ball that's so frustrating. I swear, every time he does it, I always get hit. And his height is just ridiculous with this bouncy ball. He's just overall a really chaotic boss battle. And that fits him perfectly, since in the game he's like portrayed as the baby in the Koopaling family. So Lemmy got bonus points for effort. Roy is next up on the list of Koopalings. He's by far one of my favorite looking Koopalings too. I really love his pinkish color tone, and the shades look super tough on him. But it hurts me to put him in this spot because I really love his design. I think it's one of the most creative and awesome looking ones. But anyway, Roy's battle seems pretty difficult on paper, but in reality it's really not the hardest boss fight. The platforms do bring some challenge when trying to land on Roy's head, especially since Roy jumps all over the place on the platforms, and the platforms do move decently quick. And they're honestly probably the hardest thing about Roy's boss fight, to be honest, because his bullet bill launcher is pretty disappointing, mainly because the bullet bills are just way too slow. Now if they made the bullet bills a lot quicker and made them the homing bullet bills, then Roy would probably be the best on this list. But he's one of the best looking Koopalings, so I'm pretty disappointed he's this low on the list. But that just shows not to judge a book by its cover. Morden is the biggest one out of all the Koopalings, and I really love his design as well. His colorway just matches so good, like the black and the white mesh so good on him. But anyways, his boss fight is definitely one of my favorites in the whole entire Mario franchise. His battle is right in the middle of the line for easy and difficult, because the pokies he bats are pretty big projectiles, so that makes them a lot harder to dodge than most projectiles in the game. And to make that even harder, he does that one jump where he slams the ground and it stuns you for like 10 minutes. And it's a very cheap way for him to get an easy hit on you with this poke. But if you're good enough to stay alive until he hits all of his pokies, he kind of just stands there for a couple of seconds, giving you a very easy chance to get a hit on him. But other than that, this is a very enjoyable and memorable boss fight for Morden. Definitely one of the best boss fights in the whole franchise, and shows off Morden's personality a whole bunch. Wendy is making her way into our top 3 Koopalings. Her boss fight is definitely one of my favorites in this game, mainly because of all the obstacles you have to face in it. So first of all, you have Wendy jumping around throwing her ricocheting rings everywhere. Second of all, there's all these icicles on the ceiling, so if you jump super high, you'll just hit them and die. To make the icicles even more annoying, if they get hit by Wendy's rings, they just fall down and hit you as well. And then third of all, you're walking on ice the whole entire fight, so you're gonna be over there sliding all over the place trying to dodge all these projectiles, and you can't even move good. Her battle is just the definition of so much going on. It's like Lemmy's battle but on steroids. I just really love how much love Nintendo put into Wendy's boss battle. Mario Bros. U really just had Wendy shining in this game, and I really love it because compared to her previous battles, this game is just way better. This battle just really shows off Wendy's personality, and I really love the thought and effort from Nintendo. Iggy is by far my favorite out of all the Koopalings. His design is incredible and his goofy whack personality is so cool to me. He brings off Joker from Batman vibes to me for some reason.
Or his blushing bride to be. You have nothing to threaten me with. Nothing to do with all your strength.
But anyways, all his battles are always amazing. They always match his wacky attitude and they're always the craziest fights in the whole entire game. So in this battle, there's 4 pipes in every corner of the screen and Iggy just runs right through them and he can even walk on the ceiling, which is the most ridiculous thing ever. And Iggy's projectiles are actually kind of cool. They're actually the most unique of all the Koopalings. He shoots 3 fire blasts instead of the usual one that all the other Koopalings do. And every other blast he shoots also has a chance to be a fire monster projectile, which when it lands, it spawns these huge lava monsters that you also have to be dodging. But the next Koopa on this list shouldn't be a big surprise, and you guys probably know which one it is by process of elimination. And the best Koopaling goes to Ludwig! This Koopaling is considered the best by most of the community. The Koopaling that got inspired by the man, the myth, the legend, Beethoven. But I can agree with most of the community because Ludwig's boss battles and design are just amazing. So in this battle, he basically goes Super Saiyan and clones himself into 2 other versions of himself. So you end up having to dodge 9 projectiles instead of his normal 3. And this is the hardest Koopaling battle in my opinion in this game. I struggled so much on this one because there's so much going on in this battle. And this battle really reminds me of an easier version of the robot from Cuphead, and if you guys played Cuphead, you know how hard that boss is. It's one of the most frustrating bosses of all time. But Ludwig definitely deserves his first place ranking because the amount of difficulty on this battle and how creative it is just way too good. Alright, that was my ranking of all the Koopalings. In the comments, tell me what your guys' rankings are of all the Koopalings as well. I'm curious to know what your guys' favorites are, and it took me a long time to make this video, so if you guys can subscribe and like the video, it'll mean a whole bunch. I really enjoyed making this video as well, but if you guys have any other video ideas, tell me because I've been pretty busy with school. So you know, I don't got as much time to brainstorm as ideas as I did this summer, but hopefully I can get back on track because I want to get this YouTube grind going. You guys just start throwing ideas at me because honestly, I don't know what to make videos about. I'm thinking there's actually one video that I've been thinking about that's gonna be really good. I don't want to say it right now, but you guys will see pretty soon. It should be my next video or maybe the one after my next. I'm so sorry guys, I'm gonna get this video all wrapped up. I'm sorry for making the outro this long. I really didn't want to do this. I just wanted to apologize with the lack of uploads, and I need to get my stuff back. So you guys will be expecting more uploads pretty soon, and bye.